yeah, it's crap, or something like that.
Silas
you know,
gets
smack it
TV
down.
series canceled. Okay, that is exactly what
He ruined
does.
Firefly. Silas ruined Firefly, everyone.
Oh, man.
All right, here we are into the draft as once again, Callista is going to be the first ban on the blue side for DAMWON Gaming. SKT, we'll see what they follow up with.
Now,
Damn you, Silas.
let's see if they want to ban away the Lucian.
I have a
Probably
feeling
don't have to
that-
ban away the Ezreal, as DAMWON will likely be the ones that do that. And I can tell you what DAMWON won't be banning this game.
What won't they be banning?
Silas.
Yeah, I have a feeling that that's definitely the truth. Is Ezreal going to be the second ban once again? Exactly the same as our first round of bans, guys. It was Callista, Ezreal, Thresh banned on DAMWON side. I feel like the Thresh is a flexible ban. Even though Mata is fantastic on the champion, I think that you can flex that into something else if you would like to take that one away. The Alistar was what Mata really carried on in the first game of this series, and Vladimir is going to hit the bench, unsurprisingly, and is also going to mean that mirrored bans are going to happen from the first game.
There is a LeBlanc being banned away now. This could signify that we might get a Zoe Yasuo matchup unless SK Telecom want to ban away the Zoe here.
Yeah, well, Yasuo was their final ban last time, and now they're wondering whether or not they're going to switch away from it. Certainly Yasuo could be going into the hands of both Showmaker and Nuclear. I do want to point out that Canyon, I thought that maybe I'd been missing something he's been spamming in solo queue. He's got a 30% win rate on Jungle Riven at the moment in solo queue, hasn't necessarily been spamming it. So brings it out and picks up the first win here as Flame says, I'm picking my champion and I'm picking it fast. The insta-lock.
Yeah, the Urgot, as he is locked in there for DAMWON. Now this could mean that we might get another Jace coming out here in top lane.
I'd like Jace Alistar to be locked in here. Certainly could be an easy one, but they could go the same as last time around, which was the Alistar and the Lee Sin for Clid. But holding onto the jungle pick, I think, is going to be a bit smarter here against Canyon, who seems to be throwing absolutely everything into the jungle. So instead, the Scion going to be picked up, most likely for Khan. Top side of the map. We don't see this anymore in Korea, but we have seen it elsewhere, and I very recently watched a Scion completely smash an Urgot on the top side, even though Scion's the one that's been smashed with the Nerf bat over and over again.
And on the flip side, DAMWON now are locking in the Kai'Sa and the Tahm Kench. So we don't know totally, though, if that Scion will be mid or top. If it is top, Urgot does have control in the matchup, but there are ways for Scion to win it and smash back at Urgot, especially if he ends up ever getting a early advantage. So maybe we're going to find out about that in a second here, as Sivir is locked in to counteract the Kai'Sa.
Yep, Sivir was of course banned in the second round, and it was the late Urgot pickup from SKT last time, but no jungle has been seen. I actually really like this from SKT. The fact that they held on to that Lee Sin that they've been just shotgunning every single time. They can now pick for whatever DAMWON is going to throw at them, because it's Canyon that's doing the weird stuff. From the jungle, Jarvan going to be taken away here, and it is demonstrating that they want to pick up their next solo lane in the next round instead of grabbing that jungle. Because otherwise they could have just grabbed the J4 for themselves.
Probably just try to target the jungle pool now if you are DAMWON, especially if Canyon has the ability to... What?
Look,
I'm gonna need you to break this down.
They don't have that hard counter Vladimir for the Sylas, so they didn't want to leave themselves open.
Okay.
To be Sylas counterpicked.
All right.
LS. That's what they didn't want. No, they're planning on picking the sickest ultimate ever.
Okay. Karthus?
Yeah, I don't know. How does Sylas utilize a Karthus ultimate effectively? I'm not entirely sure. You can hold onto it for a long time, so I guess you just run around and then use it whenever you want to. Lee Sin going to be banned away from Clid though. Pretty understandable stuff here. Is some coverage bans coming in for SKTs. You're exactly right. That Ryze ban looks like Lissandra to me.
And this looks to be the makings of an SK Telecom stall, slowin' Telecom.
Whoa, speaking of slow, little Miss Piggy to hit the rift, as 3 seconds, they don't need that time. They're going Sejuani. And you know what, actually...
The boar is a boy. His name's Kevin.
No, he's not. His name's Bristle.
No, it's Kevin.
No, it's Bristle.
Kevin. Look this up.
I know the law. I know it's Bristle.
No,
it is definitely
Kevin
Bristol.
Tuggles.
Oh my god, that is an adorable name, but unfortunately it's just not true. We can't be misleading our audience as DAMWON have stolen away the classic SKT.
Oh!
Is it happening?
Oh!
Is it LS?
No!
Oh my, the switch to the Kayn. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy that we've got Kayn instead. Kayn looking to come in and just ruin Klid's day on the Sejuani. But we were about to have your Game 1 draft for BBQ versus your Game 2 draft. And what happened in Game 1? You lost because you picked Sejuani Orianna. But then in Game number 2, you won because you picked Karthus and Pantheon Talia bottom lane.
We won Game 1.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Oh, damn it.
And then they picked Kayn into Karthus, Lissandra.
I saw that.
Found out that was a bad
I honestly,
decision.
to be perfectly honest, obviously I didn't watch the game, right? Because I saw that draft and I'm like, oh, this is going to be too boring. I just don't want to watch it. And also, I think I was casting the LCK that day. I don't know. One of those things. One of those things is the final pickup. The Alistar going to be moved down towards Mata, and Faker goes back to the Galio. My God, which patch are we on? SKT. It's an interesting one as the Sivir, I guess, gets the further priority. Zephyr on your screen right there, he never looks confident. So
yeah.
he doesn't give anything away with the way that he looks. But DAMWON, they've got a lot of tools throughout this game. The reason why Urgot Lissandra are so good is because they do what they do the minute they hit the rift.
Yeah. They're going to neutralize the lane. You can almost never get priority against the Lissandra. Faker's iconic Galio coming out here. Now, SK Telecom, they've chosen to go very slow and Teddy for this game, with 4 tanks in a Sivir going to be the weapon of choice for them. But they are going up against Kai'Sa, Tahm Kench, Lissandra, Kayn in Urgot, and I really gotta hand it to DAMWON Gaming. I think they have a pretty big victory in the draft. Rost is gonna be able to run a field day over the SK Telecom team composition. And in theory, Canyon should be able to get it very quickly. On the flip side...
just the thing that I'm worried about as we have a look at this the roster of SKT, Sion, Sejuani, Galio, Sivir, and the Alistar. The problem for me is that Sejuani just won't do anything in the early game and is just such an obvious hole in what the draft does. And often when you've got something like this, you have pushing lanes elsewhere. But they've got nerfed Galio and nerfed Sion that should, in theory, not have the priority. We'll see whether they can prove us wrong. And our eyes are going to be glued to the bottom side of the map because Mata will need to escape lane and try and help out his solos as soon as he possibly can. As Canyon, he's going to slash his way over this wall, finds Khan, and I believe that was a, is that a visual bug? Because Khan's playing like there's no Kayn there. Yes, thank goodness.
He's actually going to get some passive stacks right off the bat.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
and he wants them. Again. Any melee champion, that's what you want to be smacking. Gets another Q in there. And Khan has to go back home, and all of this control around the jungle goes over to DAMWON. A good start already, and you can see Canyon going for Dread's favorite skin on the Kayn as well as he starts up his. And I've got his stats here. He's played a few games of Kayn so far in solo queue, but 55% win rate over 11 games is nothing to really scoff at. Well. 6-5 for those mathematicians at home.
Kayn here, going to be able to start on his Raptor camp right away. And so, some people might be wondering, well, why Kayn? Well, it's not just about the fact that there's lots of tanks on the enemy team. It's also that Kayn is one of the champions that can really bring it to Sejuani.
Yeah.
And the way that you do that is Kayn is so much faster at clearing the jungle than Sejuani. He can just circumvent having to really jungle against her and run around her, constantly counter jungle her camps. And with the 2 priority lanes in mid and top, it should in theory be really easy for him to do that. And I'm not sure what his secondary runes are. Normally you can opt into mobility boots first item, but I don't see a stopwatch, so I don't know if he has magical boots from inspiration.
Yeah, could certainly be one of the options there that he could have picked up, unless he goes for more CDR or something like that. Klid on his top side, not going to be bothered by the Kayn so far, but I'm really glad that you bring up that. It's more, I can farm and take your camps rather than I can kill you in your jungle necessarily, because Kayn is so good at it. Faker understands that that's exactly what he's capable of, and they will know exactly where the Kayn is. will give Clid the opportunity to possibly do a counter steal here, but this is taking a while. And with Blast Cone, Arctic Assault will be able to get Clid into position. Mata moves on over, and it is going to be Clid securing his blue buffs. Thanks for the leash, Kane. And Canyon already on the back foot now. It's actually a big deal as Canyon moves onto the mid lane. Faker could be in trouble, but not at this point. Even had the Aftershock to help him with a bunch of those resists.
And so right now Canyon hitting tab, realizes, hey, Sejuani does not actually have her Raptor camp, so I'm going to come over here really quick and steal that. He's actually not just going to leave one, and I think this is showing intention that he intends to come back and maybe steal them again.
Also really hard for Kane to leave anything because he wants to be spinning around with his slash, and that's why he's so good at Raptor camps. He probably wants to keep both sides of the map, the Raptors available for him, because he kills them so fast.
Kane's going to continue power farming. The one thing that he is missing, though, is that he hasn't taken his Golem camp. The Krug's down there as Clid is actually making his way potentially down to take them. Yep,
start rubber banding that camp for him. No worries there at all. But no, that's not his choice, as Nuclear and Beryl are in his eye line. Early ganks from Sejuani aren't exactly awful, but he notices that he probably won't be able to get too much done. Cleanse and heal both available. Nuclear not going for the teleport like Teddy. Teddy understanding that he will have a lot of priority here as Canyon's doing a couple of camps at once, as you can on this Kane. He's farming very quickly around this jungle, but Clid is doing a decent job keeping up.
So right now, the Krugs at the top half of the map will be respawning shortly. I'm curious to see if Canyon is actually going to try to run up and maybe capture them, or if he's just going to path right back into his rubber-banded Raptor camps.
I think he goes to the Raptor camp and then tries something mid potentially. We'll see what he actually decides to do here. There are 3 dank seals for Faker. This guy doesn't want to lose any health, just so you know. Look at that. That camp was there for like 2 seconds, and he hasn't even gone back to base yet. He's got 1 jungle item. That's just ridiculous. Camp farms real fast.
And you can see the pings going down on the map. Everyone is fully aware of where Canyon is right now, and this is not a gankable lane state unless Teddy and Mata make a very big mistake. And so Clid not falling as far behind on the Sejuani as one might expect him to, and a lot of this is the byproduct of a few things. One, missing out on the blue buff so that Clid had a little bit more sustain inside of the jungle. Had Clid missed that due to the lane priority in mid and the ability to get priority in bottom, Clid could have been messed with and gotten 2 leveled really early on, and it's so interesting that something so small can end up being so big.
Well, speaking of big things, there's a Scion on the top side of the map who's had a decent time here in this laning phase so far. Actually shoved Flame in and gets himself a priority back. Ninja Tabi in his back pocket now as well. Grasp of the Undying is what he's gone with there, just to keep himself alive in this lane. Showmaker roams away just for a moment, but Faker protecting the chickens. Doesn't want the coop to come under fire as Clid moves on over. Canyon is going to have to slink his way back into his side of the jungle because Khan, he has ultimate and he can move down from that top side of the map. So you have to remember that with Scion here, the river is never safe.
And right now, Canyon does roll very well. The Scuttle Crab does appear on the left side of the map. One thing to note, though, is that he's not getting any Ross stacks. He's not attempting to gank any of these lanes. And so he's just playing this farming style jungle, and it's interesting to me that he goes for the Chilling Smite instead of the Red Smite when he is going to be going Ross. He's going to be getting into the nitty-gritty of the team fights, right into the heart of them.
Yeah, and a lot more CC available as well, so you don't necessarily need that slow as much, but wanting to double down on utility, and I don't mind that. Flame's Ghost Poro is going to be eradicated there on the top side. Teddy and Mata letting the wave shove towards them, wanting to go for some sort of freeze down here, and that shows that SKT looking to try and play top side of the map. Clid goes back to base, Marby Cinder in his back pocket as well as his own Chilling Smite. He's still a camp and a CS behind, but as far as Sejuani early games go, this is a pretty nice one, all things considered. Largely going towards that good smite timing after the Blast Cone Arctic Assault towards his own blue buff. Still was triple scuttle so far for Canyon, so he will have a bit more money. Those numbers not necessarily telling the whole story. As Khan versus Flame, this is a lane that I think is much more important than Urgot Scion lanes have been in the past. Because if Khan can play this as aggressively as we know he can, and we know Urgot can in the matchup, it means so much more for DAMWON and for SKT than it would otherwise.
Right.
Because having priority in that top lane means that the Scion can move down into the river, can use his the choo-choo train, and it means that when Canyon is going for the ganks in mid, things like that, you can get collapsed on so incredibly easily. So Khan doing a great job. He was getting shoved in earlier on, and you can see that Flame is positioning aggressively in the lane, but it's not enough to actually give him full-on priority. As you see right here, Flame going forward, but Khan able to weather the storm, as it were.
And the byproduct of this is that DAMWON Gaming are supposed to be being able to get slight advantages across the map, and thus far they really haven't. Kane is ahead. Oh, okay.
There's the train, but it's not really going to find too much there, but the disdain also going to miss. The flash out of the way there as the Purge is going to keep Flame alive, and Khan, he uses both of his summoner spells, loses out on the health trade, and even Clid turns up and can't do anything.
Clid, you can see, still level 5 as Canyon with level 6.
Yeah, gonna go on in. You can see Flame was trying to do a bit of baiting here, but it's just a chilling smite to be thrown down onto Bristle and Sejuani. Sorry, Kevin.
See what you did there.
Why Kevin?
I'm pretty sure that it's actually Kevin Tuggle. I'm not pulling your leg
Are you actually being serious?
Yeah.
No, it's definitely Bristle.
It is.
Unless they changed a law, in which case I'm going to have a conversation with someone. Because if they've removed Bristle, I'm going to be as upset as when the Crimson Brambleback lost its Crimson.
I think Bristle is the alias. Kevin
Oh,
Bristle
it's like Batman or something.
There
You
you
know,
go.
it's like it's like Batman Bristle is instead Kevin Toggles by day, you know? And Bristle by night. What's the day job of Kevin Toggles? Is he like a factory worker or something like that?
Oh, man.
What's the best job for like a giant poro? I'm not entirely sure. Works at one of our dog cafes here in Korea.
Yeah, it just gets pet by everyone.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds pretty good. I could imagine that Kevin Toggles would like that.
Sejuani works the barista job
Yeah.
behind the counter. And then at night they take to the rift.
Yep. Oh, beautiful. I love this. I love it.
man.
I think there needs to be a YouTube video about Kevin Toggles. Oh,
So
man.
far, though, in this game.
We need a superhero Sejuani skin. Oh, we really need one.
now.
We need one. Man, we've been advocating for Marvel-based skins way too much on this broadcast, LS.
We really
But I'm
have.
okay with it. I'm completely okay with it.
Are you going to see, I know I asked you this before, but Captain Marvel is coming out in 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
A little under 2 weeks here in Korea. We get an earlier release
Oh,
than
hell yeah.
other countries, I think.
I'm definitely going to go see it. I mean, I'm a sucker for this. Absolute sucker. As this is going to be SKT taking themselves an Ocean Drake. This time around, pretty happy about having an Ocean Drake. I mean, everyone in a lane is really keen to spam their spells. Especially Faker after the nerfs. Wants to be able to throw out his Winds of War, even though it doesn't hurt as much as many times as he can. Very close to getting his first item here as well. Lost Chapter being picked up. Actually, interestingly enough, sold his refillable potion in order to get a Lost Chapter with 3 dank seals in the back pocket, which eradicates the reason for having 3 dank seals, really, because you don't get the extra regen that actually stacks on the item. But I guess you do get a few of those base stacks. And as we talk about, it is a pretty value for money item.
What an exciting top lane situation that we have. We have the Ninja Tabias and the Bramble Vest completed now for Khan, so the trading up there is going to be all but non-existent for the most part.
Well, Faker actually going to choose to go aggressive here as Clid moves on in there, but I believe the mid lane matchup not quite working out in favor of Showmaker, meaning that Canyon fighting with the jungler was probably the wrong choice. Very strange turn of events, really.
Yeah, not too much the action. You can just see up here, Khan, he's able to really fight back right now against, oh, missed right there. Very uncharacteristic, and so Flame ends up getting the better end of that trade as Clid.
It's so weird watching DAMWON playing around a boring top lane. Normally Noguri, he's always there to protect us from a boring top lane matchup. But Flame comes in, shows us that The Urgot is back, even if you're watching DAMWON Gaming. And Khan, he tried to one-up him by picking the Scion. Oh, man.
Tried to go for a red steal here as Canyon was about level 8.5 almost, and Click just leveled up, but very close proximity to the Golem camp, so.
Yeah, and Vision completely available here from SKT. Sorry, from DAMWON Gaming. So Flame understanding that probably needs to play a little bit more carefully, and he's going to choose that as his opportunity to go back to base. Can't quite afford the Black Cleaver just yet, but finishes off Merc Treads and grabs himself a Phage. So he's going to be fine. Moves back towards top side, wants to continue having an advantage. If we're having a look at turret plates, one of them has gone down in the mid lane already. Showmaker doing a good job here against Faker, but range versus melee is probably going to do that, as he can more safely farm underneath that turret. I believe one may have fallen on the bottom side as well in favor of SKT. There's a pesky little Kai'Sa icon. Needs to move out of the way before we can get that confirmation. Nope, not actually going down just yet. So a bit of damage goes onto the turret, but not actually taken, as Canyon farming very quickly. And Nuclear, I love this, goes for the Infinity Edge instead of the Blade of the Ruin King. I mean, the one-item spike still feels great, and you get towards your first evolution way quicker.
Speaking about getting to things, we're going to be getting to likely a fight here in about 2 minutes, as there's no real reason for either of these team compositions to try to make an engage happen until that Infernal Drake comes up. We've had an extremely long laning phase. It's something I've talked about a lot in LCK, to be honest, where laning phases tend to last extremely long in this region, sometimes even upwards of 18, 19 minutes. And it doesn't look like that's going to be changing in this game. And when you're
Who does
SK
that
Telecom
actually
with
suit,
4
though?
tanks, well, it's really, like I said, I think that it's very difficult for SKT's team composition to handle Rost in the later stages. If Teddy goes down in one fight, it's all over.
Yeah, well, Canyon, going to try and run through some walls, but train's already left the station. That's that feel when you miss the train.
Have you ever missed a train?
Lots.
Really?
Loads of trains. Yeah, I miss trains all the time.
You mean like a regular train or like a key train? Have you ever taken a train to a different city or?
Oh, no. So I haven't missed one of those before.
Okay.
I haven't missed one of those. Like the ones that you have to book where it's like, you know, the train to Busan or something like that.
Yep.
Although that's a train that I'd probably be pretty happy to miss based on what happened in that movie. Keen to not be aboard that one.
I never saw it.
Yeah,
what is it about?
It's about a train and zombies.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it good?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's one of the more famous Korean movies as far as making it out to the West, I would say, with my limited knowledge. I actually watched another Korean movie last night, actually. It's called The Drug King. It's on Netflix at the moment. It's really good. True story about one of the biggest drug kingpins in Korea.
Really?
The guy earned $7 million in the late 1900s. In like 1980s. $7 million in 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, just insane stuff. It was not a great ending for him. However, that is an impressive amount of money. Infernal Drake has been started up here. It was Canyon that started it. SKT, they sussed it out. They got rid of him. That's why we were talking about Korean movies and not talking about the game.
This has turned into a generic ratings against Gen G.
Oh god, fiasco.
With the way that the early game has
Hey, no,
transpired.
yesterday, I mean, Roach being in the mid lane made for some real exciting stuff. So I think you're completely wrong as Faker, thinking about the flash. Not gonna do it.
Infernal Drake is still alive.
16 minutes into the game, we do still have Rift Herald available for 3/4 of its duration onto Clid. Hasn't been thrown down just yet, and because it's 16 minutes, it's probably not the time to do it. Is Teleport going to be used? It's Teddy. Just making his way back down. I got excited there for a second, but Khan can come in. His ultimate just comes back off cooldown. We're looking for a 50-50. Showmaker doesn't take the claw, and immediately SKT turn. They grab themselves the first blood. It's onto Teddy and the Dragon. Fear Beyond Death is going to go completely wide, and Marta is tanking up all the damage, even able to go over and help take down the kill onto the Tahm Kench. And SKT, they come out of the gate. Nothing had happened, and it all happens there in the Dragon Pit.
That was like being in one of those Gladiator movies, and Cage just comes up and the lion jumps out, and SK Telecom, they jump to a massive advantage here now in game number 3. First turret. Last time it tricked us, though. Because they were both trying to get the first turret?
Well, we were very close to... So the answering turret came in within 30 seconds, right? Which is why the game looked so close, guys.
Right.
You know, that's what happened. And now, where's the turret going down for DAMWON Gaming? Where is it?
Not even here.
See it. I can't see it.
Yeah. SK Telecom's already won.
Yep, here we go. That's how it works. Right here, but this is also just a landslide of a team fight.
Canyon, it seemed like it was going to be really fortunate as the Dragon had reset, but he went way too far up, and he got locked completely down by SK Telecom. I don't even think he got any cane passives. Mata, being forced to flash the wall there, found himself an oversized catfish. But
look at Coben's face. This guy's real happy. At this point, Zephyr's like, oh, finally, my draft paying off. I didn't pick Silas. Oh, we're doing better. That's what his mind says. Of course, his face says nothing. Unreadable is Zephyr there. But SKT, a fantastic fight to basically begin this game. Honestly, it feels like the game starts at around this 18.5-minute mark because it had been a gentleman's agreement to just farm things out. Teddy, picking up the first blood, goes back, buys himself a luxury QSS as Marta's hit by a claw, but that's just going to push him towards the river and nothing really going to happen.
We're seeing the thing again. Atlas, I want you to point it out. Look at the items.
Oh, here we go. Faker's copying Showmaker. It must be contagious. Because Showmaker hasn't even done it. I would have expected Ludens into the Oblivion Orb and Sork Boots on whatever champion he's playing. But instead, he goes as far away from that as possible into this very standard Lissandra build.
Yeah, well, the one thing I would say, though, is I suppose Morello can help against Rost.
Hey, and Lissandra.
Down, yeah, and Lissandra. If she ends up ulting herself.
If he doesn't use his Grey health. I know it's not really relevant, but in theory, it's healing.
So I suppose it's not the end of the world to have that Oblivion Orb. Just, I'm wondering how he's going to transition to Galio.
Oh, he's in trouble. This is going to take a while. Remember, the shield isn't exactly the greatest as he flashes to get himself out of the way. Remember, the ult, it's ticking down. He's trying to get the work done, but the big boy into the belly. It is going to be traded, though, as SKT grab the outer turret on the bottom side of the map.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
What?
Every time an Urgot eats a Scion, it reminds me of like a Majin Buu eating someone. Or no, not Majin Buu, Cell eating someone.
Yeah. I think he's going to third Cell after that one, though. That's a real big boy. As Beryl tries to flash, but he's not getting far. Faker with the Winds of War does a lot of damage, actually, as Mata, can he tank it? Not going to happen as Showmaker picks up the kill in the end with the Frozen Thrall. Faker actually tanks up one of those as well, but SKT still continuing here as Canyon. He's moving through the wall, wants to get the Humble Trespass in as the Rast form has been picked up like we've been talking about for so long. Remember, it's been changed, man. He just gets stacks just everywhere.
Yeah, and he has the Rast. He whiffed right there on the knock-up onto SK Telecom. That definitely could have been a different story. Nonetheless, meanwhile, up in top lane, DAMWON Gaming, Flame manages to pick up the top tier 1 turret. And interestingly enough, when you have this scaling comp, I'll talk about that in a second, is taking a quick replay. This is one of the easiest ganks you could ever have take place. Ends up missing the slow, doesn't really matter. Khan tries to flash away, but ends up proving to be futile as Cell tells him to get inside.
Yep, he's absorbed his abilities now. Flame is even more of a tank player.
And then bottom right here, they do a nice engage there onto Beryl. He ends up using the stopwatch with Mata.
And think about everything that's on cooldown right now. You know, it's like the ultimate from Mata, that's used to try and get away, but it's honestly not enough. As the last Q, I believe, from Showmaker was the one that did it, as Clid looking to try and get himself well and truly in amongst it, but what can Kane do? He can get out. He can get out pretty fast.
Top tier 1, actually. SK Telecom are going to pick it up, and one of the things I was going to say is when you have multiple tanks on a team composition, oftentimes tier 1 turrets can prove to be very difficult to secure later in the game, as none of your chances
Barrel's dead.
Okay, well, yeah.
See you, man.
This is always a really sad. I'm going to need a moment.
Yeah. Thomas. Poor Thomas.
Looking like a beached whale right there.
Bum, 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 bum,
Disgusting
bum,
getting caught out.
Okay, well, Canyon lying in wait, but he's lying in wait for probably not the right thing here. It's a big knock up onto Faker, but Winds of War is going to be traded back, and Khan owns this bottom side red jungle. Might just get themselves in and take down this other Ocean Drake as SKT, wanting to cycle as many as they can. Oh, Clid, I mean, Blast Cone not even good enough. The Arctic
Not
assaulting Sejuani with Kevin. Canyon wants to go steals the Ocean Drake. What a sick move. Not going to happen. And the ultimate not going to clip him there either. Is Canyon, sorry, gets himself out of the way. And let's have a look at this pick off yet again. I don't know why we're seeing it again. It was really depressing.
I don't know what he's...
Walkabout.
Just let it happen. Just let it happen.
See your death.
Moment of silence for Tahm Kench. Because he's not the Coin Emperor, Tahm Kench.
Yeah, that's the problem, obviously.
Because if it was a smart Tahm Kench, he'd probably have a lot of coins. Because he would make bank. That's what's going on here.
I got a reference that's like pretty deep in reference to that. Have you played Diablo 3 before? Because there's a vault level with this, like, it's lots and lots of money, and that's exactly what that Tahm Kench skin looks like. Is we've got a team fight further on the top side of the map, and it's going to be Showmaker just completely obliterated. Without any further thought, another slowdown comes through onto Beryl. Permafrost as well slows him down, and the train not going to be able to land, but the Decimating Smash certainly will, and Teddy finishes that one off. And it's just DAMWON Gaming with a bit of a brain fade, not quite staying together on the same page, and Beryl once again falling down. Take Galio, take Alistair. What does he have after that? Seems like Tahm Kench not one of those options here for this man.
This is really a surprising game overall, and now Mata
saying, hey, delivery. It's a big knock-up as well as Clit gets himself over the wall. Canyon takes a while to die as the Umbral Trespass does come in. It actually cancels out the hero's entrance as he's buying so much time to try and stop this one. Clit, Arctic Assaults gets back in. They turn themselves back onto this Baron as Clit flashes and steals the Baron! Canyon unnecessary as the kills now starting to rain forward. DAMWON Gaming are even able to steal away the piggy as Showmaker gets himself back in, gets a brilliant flash forward at DAMWON. It looked like a brain fade, but maybe it was the genius tier move. And Flame, welcome back to the LCK, my friend.
That's the really sad part. Where you what is it? It's I forget what movie it is, but Flame nonetheless as a hero. Let's take another quick look at this one more time. This is how it all starts off. Showmaker biting off a little bit more than he can chew.
And he doesn't use the ultimate because he can't. He's just perma-CC'd. That white CC bar was up the entire time.
And then Beryl ends up making himself a quick donation. Train doesn't quite hit, but it doesn't really matter. And then SK Telecom, they go for this Baron play, but then for some reason, Clit goes over the wall as well, even though Mata probably could handle it, or you could have just sent Faker over to taunt and then knock him up with the Justice Punch. And in doing so, it gave Flame the time to come in here, and let it be known that is a 3-level different smite, for those that might be wondering. And then Rost in the backline, Mata can't bring him down. I think SK Telecom might have just lost the game off of this, as weird as that sounds.
Showmaker just got 1,000 gold from killing Teddy. As far as turnarounds are concerned, this is about the biggest you can get. It was Khan able to take down the Kaiser in the end, and so that was an extra 500 gold going over to him. That's a big bounty to come through, but my God, this feels like DAMWON have just awoken on this map, because before, SKT was dictating everything to them.
I just remembered the movie. It's like with the little kid and the giant, the metal giant, the robotic giant.
The Iron Giant?
Doesn't he pass away at the end?
Dude, don't spoil that. It's one of the saddest moments in movie history.
I think that's what the Urgot just was.
Oh, I guess it is a heartwarming moment, though. You're right. Oh, God, I love that movie.
Zoomed in on him. That's all I could think of. I just couldn't remember.
Oh, man.
I remember watching that in movie theaters with my grandmother.
I watched it with my cousins, and they all made fun of me for being so sad. Well, on the hunt has been popped here. It's a good ultimate this time from Clit, but into the belly of the Tahm Kench goes as Flame just gets delivered to the middle of the team. Can he actually find the Fear Beyond Death, as it is going to go wide, but doesn't matter. Still able to take down the kill on Mata, and now Faker in amongst the team is delivered another kill over to the Urgot. I don't know where this Flame came from, but it feels like he's teleported from back in time, back into the LCK.
We're gonna get some men in black suits in here after this game. They're gonna ask him where the time machine is.
Yeah, exactly right. And then they're gonna show us that weird stick thing that's gonna lose our memory. So try and hold on to this one in your minds, everyone. because Flame's come back and he's looking to save DAMWON versus SKT.
Baron only 15 seconds remaining, but it did the damage that it needed to do. We're taking another quick look at the fight. Flame gets hit. Doesn't really matter all that much as Beryl.
And he's like, I'm ready to go back in.
And then we're just going to take a quick look at his field goal here.
That was Flash. Okay. still good play. It's a bit of a wind-up on the Fear Beyond Death, guys. Remember that.
It is true. We thought Showmaker was the enemy.
That's not old man mechanics. We've got Joker for that. We can see those.
And, well, talk about old man mechanics.
Yeah.
Missed the Scuttle Crab really quick.
Canyon's a young man. He's got no excuse. No excuse at all.
So now, in this game, SK Telecom, they are down about 5,000 gold here. They're not out of the game entirely. They do have the ability.
And they've got a beautiful front-to-back comp,
yes.
right? They can play behind Sejuani and Sion. You know exactly how that's going to work, and then Teddy can hit whatever's in front of him. Easy peasy, boys. No worries there at all. However, DAMWON, they can play out, if they can play out their team comp in the way that we know the Urgot Lissandra works, I don't even know whether front-to-back is going to work, because Khan, if he tries to play frontline and they just eat through his health bar, which Nuclear can do on this Kai'Sa with the amount of damage that she does, not to mention Rast form cutting through your health so easily and Flame being able to put him in the grinder, it's a scary proposition here for SKT as they move further forward into this game, because we talk about Sivir win conditions, Kai'Sa win conditions exist as well.
And I was saying in Champ Select that DAMWON, it's so much easier for them as well to pilot their team composition with the Rost and the Lissandra. I mean, they will deal a lot of damage and provide free reign for the Kai'Sa. And the other thing is that the Rost is so difficult to deal with. If Galio doesn't clip him with the Morellonomicon passive, he just basically goes back to full health almost infinitely.
Yeah, and not to mention, he gets to Umbral Trespass for so long, and think about how much untargetability is on this squad. You can even include the Supercharger's invisibility from Nuclear in that equation as well. Flame can go into his Gargoyle Stoneplate form and basically take no damage. Showmaker has his ultimate, has his Zonya's Hourglass, and has a stopwatch. And Beryl can devour any one of these players that gets anywhere near close to dying. It's hard to play front to back against this squad. Nuclear taking a lot of damage there to start off with, though, as Teddy has the On the Hunt popped, but Marta, he could be a target here. Thrown into the belly, perhaps, as Flame wants to find the Fear Beyond Death. Can he shoot it? Through Clit. Clit's body blocking for him as Khan finds his way towards the front line. That hero's entrance is really nice.
Okay.
This might be the team fight for SKT as Faker goes into his own Zonyas, has to flash to get his way out as Canyon with the GA. Holds on to it, but not his health bar.
That was a really close encounter just now. It looks like Mata for sure was going to go down at the very beginning of this.
Yeah, it felt like, you know, that was the team fight that SKT really needed to try and win, but instead it was a bit more of a stalemate for both sides. But like, if it was going to go well for SKT, it was going to go well right there.
A little bit of a reset time granted for both parties right now. DAMWON, look at their team composition. Everyone has all their summoner spells, whereas the same is not able to be said on SKT's team side. And the summoners for SK Telecom are a lot more important due to how integral it is that Sivir be protected at all costs inside of the team comp.
Yeah, you look at Faker, you look at Marta. That's exactly the summoners that you want. As far as Flash is concerned, pole Flash headbutt, you know, these sort of things coming out from the Alistar is important, but the taunt Flash is so crucial for this Galio to really make plays. And we've still got quite a few minutes before that one comes in, as On the Hunt has been popped. Flame might get caught out, but there's no CC to offer here. Not just yet. And DAMWON happy just to tank the Baron for a few moments and test the waters.
Right now, Showmaker clearing out the control ward inside of the Baron pit. DAMWON, they do have one Mountain Drake, but they might be waiting to posture for two. Teleport coming in from Teddy.
He makes his way back forward as he wants to stand behind Khan. He's clearing minions in the mid lane. But DAMWON, you can see how much control they have. It's them dictating the pace. In game number 1, that was a problem, but they shorted up in game number 2. What will we get here in the deciding game 3? SKT, a lot of pressure on them. This is a Galio comp, but I don't know how many of them have actually lost for SKT as the train comes out. Another big cooldown expended from SKT in trade for a righteous glory from Flame.
Mountain coming up now in 25 seconds. Kane, or Rost, and Kai'Sa are both able to solo that dragon. So if they can keep SK Telecom, which is a very immobile team composition, inside of their own red side jungle, they can definitely try to just go solo it. Instead, doesn't look like that's on their mind with Lissandra pushing in top. Not the biggest threat inside of the split push.
Big knock up there from Canyon as Flame gets himself into position in the front line. Decimating smash, not going to be there. As Canyon just slashes his way out of it. No worries, Faker, he's going to move up topside, and now it's DAMWON Gaming with the man advantage around the mid.
Here's
and
the
Nuclear
solo.
is able just to come over and steal away the Mountain Drake without taking any damage.
And now, DAMWON with double Mountain Drake are able to just actually start the Baron with the Tahm Kench taking it and the thick skin and say, hey, you have to come into us. And if they do, Kane, everyone's going to be clumped up for Rost.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to get several knockups, Umbral Trespass, and threaten Petty in the backline, and it's so scary.
And during the duration of Umbral Trespass, Nuclear will be able to get so much damage done. He's got IE, double Zeal item. It's a huge heal here as cleared. Flashing towards the pit, but now needs to be able to Arctic Assault his way forward. Nuclear is the one that secures the Baron, as now SKT trying to start off this team by Flame. The only one knocked up, but the Gargoyle Stoneblade is buying so much time. And now Canyon diving in the backline. He wants to get on top of Teddy, but they've expended all of Flame's health bar, and they can't do anything more. Oh, the Purge comes just back off cooldown, and now Showmaker darting into the backline. The Kai'Sa there as well, and he's free hitting Nuclear. Can he do it? Goes into the stopwatch, the stasis, and Showmaker in the backline. The Circle of Frost and the ace for DAMWON.
And that was the biggest turnaround. It looked like SK Telecom certainly had that fight won, but then Nuclear just, he went completely hero mode. I don't know, I don't know what to call that ultimate, right into the back of SK Telecom with Ross to accompany on the right-hand side, and that's going to be all she wrote here for game number 3.
That's going to be it. DAMWON have answered back, and now it's 3-3 for SKT DAMWON if you're looking at the LCK, but tack on a couple more wins for DAMWON as they were able to take them down in the Kesper Cup. At the beginning of 2019, Marta is going to respawn, but I'm sorry, buddy, that Nexus is not long for the world, and DAMWON Gaming do what looked very, very difficult after game number 1. They turn around a difficult game 2. And the man on your screen right there, welcome back to the LCK Flame. I don't think anyone was expecting him to come in, even in this game at all. I was expecting Noguri for the entire series. I was expecting Noguri for the entire season. And I wasn't expecting Flame to come in and actually carry the series.
Yeah, he did super well on the Urgot, especially in game number 2 there. He had a few mechanical flounders, but for the most part, he was able to neutralize Khan in top lane. He set up the gank for Canyon that was relatively easy to coordinate and get the kill onto Khan and start to get the ball rolling there. And then overall, the DAMWON team composition eventually came together. And SK Telecom, it's really weird to think that had Clid just stayed in the pit, that we're probably looking at different winners in this game.
Yeah.
But Flame able to get that Baron steal on the Urgot spellbook change. Super fantastic, super clutch.
Absolutely amazing stuff. And actually, you really have to take your hat off to this DAMWON Gaming squad who honestly went through a slump. You know, they started off really strong. They had that 2-0 week number 1, and then things felt like they were going back to normalcy. You know, our promoted team from Challenger, not all of them can be Griffin, right? Sandbox continued to look like the real deal, and then DAMWON fell off just a little bit. And now we're having those two teams sort of switch places. DAMWON are finding themselves again. They're going to continue their winning streak. Sure, they lost a game, but that's now 8-1 over their last few series, and that is absolutely huge when it comes to game score. This squad is very exciting and a really cool one to look forward to seeing more of, especially if Flame can play the counter to what Noguri offers topside, because now this team really has a lot of different weapons and a lot of different ways to wield their roster, which you have to watch out for. I mean, the nameplates are very important now for DAMWON.
Yep. And if you're an SK Telecom fan and you are watching this, you don't have to feel so bad walking away from this series. SK Telecom, they showed moments of brilliance in all 3 games, and realistically, this game does come down to the Baron, which SK Telecom should have been able to secure, but Flame had some different plans in mind, as well as Clit, apparently.
And I mean, the Sejuani pick as well has always been a bit of a perplexing one. We haven't seen it be very successful at all. It's another one of these options that we saw not really hit the mark, as Punch started off on the Skana, the other side of the Spirit coin. Then we got cleared to finish off on the Sejuani and also lost on that one. So we're still continuing to watch Flame on the screen. Certainly missed that one, as you can see, he does offer that extra voice to the squad. We know that this guy has gotten so much, he's got so much veterancy, but also has been very vocal on almost every team, and is very, very good at staying calm.
Yeah.
It's funny that his name's Flame, because he's not hot-headed at all. That's not the type of player that he is. So excited to see what he can do as he moves forward on DAMWON Gaming, and I wasn't expecting to see him this season, but we see him in the first series and he looks fantastic. I want to see him again next time.
And we're going to have to see if he ends up getting the MVP, I imagine.
I'd give it to him. I mean, he got the game-winning Baron steal, so give it to him. I think it has to be that, as we're going to have a look at some of the highlights as well. So we'll be able to see exactly when that moment was. And it was after an early game that SKT got everything in. They steal away the dragon. They grab a couple of kills. They transition
Barrel makes some donations.
Yeah, Barrel makes some donations. They transition it into first 3 turrets around the map.
So this is where it all actually started. This is where Showmaker gets picked off as Canyon's forced to watch, and Barrel, I mean, he thinks as a catfish, well, maybe in the water I won't die, but he ends up stepping out of it just really quickly. Passes away on land right there, and then SK Telecom, they turn their attentions to the Baron and then just watch this Clit stay in the pit. Everyone trying to waste their time on Canyon, but they didn't need to do it this way. Clit goes over the wall, and then they're still trying to kill him. And now Clit, outside of the pit, there's a loss of damage on the Baron. Flame just comes in here because no one zoned him away. Manages to get the smite. And this was the beginning of the downfall for SK Telecom, as their comp wasn't designed to try to deal with the Baron this early on into the game.
I'm also really perplexed as to how Faker's ultimate was popped as well, because the hero's entrance was cast, went on cooldown, but didn't actually do anything. Yeah. And he was just inside the Baron pit, so it might have been a Ras knock-up from over the wall.
No, Baron knocked him up.
Oh, we got interrupted by Baron? Yeah. That feels bad. That's why you try to have more than 3 people in the Baron pit, everyone. As, yes, the ultimate goes wide from Flame, but that was after the flash from Clid. All right, guys.
All right.
You guys are talking smack on my Flame. Not happening. I think you played a pretty fantastic game of League of Legends here. Even though it was the Urgot, it was in a matchup that should have been good, still was pretty damn nice. Clid tries to steal away the ultimate with his steal away the Baron with his ultimate just there, but in the end, look at that. Yeah. Flame uses his entire health bar, tanks up the whole team.
Well, you can see, yeah.
The Disdain gets out of the way of the knock-up, gets the Purge back just in time, and now
that ultimate,
they're too far in, and Showmaker with the Circle of Frost to end all Circles of Frost, which is just outrageous. Nuclear goes untargetable when he needs to. And Showmaker, with those cycling of spells, with the way that he navigated the Lissandra play, I didn't see it because there was so much going on in that last team fight. If you watch just him, it's almost flawless play. Coming in from the mid laner, I wouldn't be surprised if he got the MVP, but I want to give it to Flame, and I want to have a chat after this to both Flame and Showmaker and see what having Flame on this DAMWON roster actually does for the squad, because, man, it was night and day. Game number 1 looked like DAMWON were going to get 2-0 pretty handedly.
And then game number 2, Silas had some different plans in mind, so...
Hey, but game number 3, no Silas. Thankfully, that one was banned on the side of DAMWON. They wanted to have a fair fight as they took down SKT in game number 3. Flame is going to pick it up. His first series in the LCK, and already is at 100 points. Fantastic stuff, and this is the highlight. This is basically the only one you need to show, because it practically won them the game.
Manages to get right in there and take the Baron. And this is the worst feeling, especially as a team, to maintain mental fortitude after something like this is really, really difficult. Even for a team like SK Telecom.
Yeah.
You know, you can try to coach it and everything, but it's just such an awful feeling because then everyone want to start blaming each other, but really Flame, the morale boost that it gives his team is just enormous.
Absolutely, and now we get to have a chat to him, which is fantastic. Great reason to give him the MVP as he's going to be joined by Showmaker. And we're going to be joined by G-Sum for some translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is the first interview of the day, and we're going to be joined by Showmaker and Flame from DAMWON Gaming.
쇼메이커 선수는 4연승 하는 동안 내내 MVP
Showmaker,
달성
you are the main
중이세요.
character of this winning streak because you have been on the stage for 4 days in a row. How do you feel? Well, today was a long day and very extended games. So it was really hard for me to stay focused during the games, but I'm really happy that we finally got the win. Flame, long time no see, back in LCK. You said you're not a scary person, but your performance was really scary.
안녕하세요. 담원 게이밍에서 활동하게 된
I'm a new top laner from DAMWON Gaming. I'm Flame Ho-Jung-Lee.
생각보다 빨리 교체 출전하시게 되시면서 부담스러우셨을 것
Weren't
같아요.
you feeling any pressure when you were about to sub in?
출전하게 될 수 있다는 걸 좀 미리 한 일주일
Well,
정도 전에
our head coach actually told me a week before that I will be able to sub in for this game. So I think I had some 9 screen games before today's series. So yeah, I was quite ready. So how was your teamwork with Flame going, Showmaker? He gives great calls and great shot calls, but I hope he lends more or good ults on the opponents. Any message, Flame? I mean, I make too many shot calls. Well, so maybe next time I'm gonna lend it a little bit more. Game 2, Riven was on the side of jungle of DAMWON Gaming. Well, he actually, yes, said that he wants to play Riven, but there was no situation to play Riven. So the coaching staff told us that it is not a good situation, but he was keep just saying that I want Riven, I'm gonna play Riven, so we just locked in. Flame, how was your game with Riven in game 2? I mean, he was just saying Riven all the time, so I thought that maybe we should let him play it, and I think he did fairly well.
것 같습니다. 자, 그리고 쇼메이커 선수 오늘
Showmaker.
이번 2019 LCK
Well, this was the first Vladimir in mid lane in this split.
사일러스 상대로 할 챔프를 찾다가
Well, I was looking for champions to play against Silas.
딱히 좋은 게 안 보여서 그냥
It was really hard to find one, and Vladimir is the one that was left to kind of counterplay against Silas. So let's check out his highlight over here. There was a great fight back on your side. You were really low on health.
좀 무서웠어요 초반에.
I was actually really scared. I got too many shots.
여기서 건부가 들어와봐.
But and then Canyon said, just come in.
가기 좋았던 것 같아요.
So I was able to kind of land a lot of ultimates on opponents, and we were able to kind of re-engage.
그냥 리븐 그 스턴 될 때 저한테
Well,
어그로가 안
when the
끌릴 것
Riven
같다고
landed the CC, I thought that maybe no one will put an aggro on me, so I was able to just go in one more time and land my ultimates.
자, 이제 2세트 얘기해 보겠습니다. 플레임 선수가 한창 활동하던 당시는 우르곳을 많이 쓰던 때는 아니었는데 이번에
Back in the days when you were playing LCK, Urgot wasn't a main champion, right? It wasn't a mainstream. Did you practice it a lot?
작년에 롤드컵을 못 가서 좀
Well, during the screams, and also I wasn't able to go to Worlds last year, so it took me a lot of time to get used to the new meta and new champions. However, there were a lot of outplays on your Urgot today because you stole the Baron over there. What was going on over there? Did you told your teammates that you're gonna steal that? Well, a lot of things were going on over there, but I told them just I have smites and I'm gonna steal it, and I had the feeling that I will be actually able to be stealing it. I mean, that could be one of the super plays of today. How were you able to join DAMWON Gaming in the second round robin? It's a long story. And this year I really really want to come back to Korea. And during that process, it took me too much time to make this decision. So I wasn't able to join your teams, but I had a lot of conversation with DAMWON. But at first, it didn't turn out to be really in a positive conclusion. But I did tell them for a couple of times that I really want to join them. So a lot of coaching staff had the faith in me, so I was able to join them in the second round. So you're the oldest member in your team. Do you feel any responsibility? I don't really do anything special as the oldest member. I just want to be like close friends with the players. How's Flame as the oldest member of your team? He only plays games, so I don't really know. We have to get. I mean, we have to get closer.
이 질문 많이들 궁금해하시더라고요. 현재 LCK의 최고의 탑라이너.
Who's the best top laner in LCK?
최고의 탑라이너, LCK의 최고의 탑라이너.
일단 아직 제일 잘하는 선수 한 명은 없는 것 같아요.
I can't just pick one.
네. 혹시 기라인 기장님. 기인 선수.
네, 기인 선수는 어떤 선수가 지금 제일 잘하는 것 같아요.
Yeah, I think Kiin is the best top laner in LCK.
네, 급하게 기인 선수로
My brain just paused.
해주셨습니다.
I think Kiin is the best top laner.
쇼메이커 선수 2라운드 어디까지 바라보고 계시나요?
What's your goal for the second round, Showmaker?
저 지난 인터뷰에서도 말했는데
Just as I said in the last interview, we have 10 more win streak to go to accomplish that 14 winning streak. What about you, Flame? What's your goal?
일단 저는 최대한 경기 많이 출전해서 많이 이기고
I just wanna
롤드컵
play a lot of games on stage and I wanna make it to the Worlds.
바라보는 담원 게임이었습니다. 오늘 인터뷰 쇼메이커 선수, 플레임
Thank you very much for this interview, Showmaker and Flame. I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jason. Absolutely fantastic to hear from these two, especially Flame, as he makes his way back to the LCK and back to Korea after spending so much time overseas. In the LPL, then of course over in North America, and now finally back to us. And the hyperbolic time chamber seemed to have worked, because I don't remember that Flame being in North America. This is a new and improved Flame, or something. Something's happened. He had that practice time when he didn't go to Worlds, and now he's back.
Hyperbolic time chamber.
I don't know, dude. You know. I don't know. I'm just really excited for the next DAMWON game. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Because this means that now it's looking like DAMWON are the team to favor in comparison to Kingzone, especially if that rematch can actually be won by DAMWON. Remember, it was the first round robin, of course, that Kingzone were able to take down DAMWON 2-0, so now DAMWON get another chance in the second round robin. So this is well and truly up in the air. Yes, Griffin are probably going to come first, but the rest of the league is really exciting.
Probably.
Well, guys, we still have another series, so we've got about 20 minutes, and that will be coming up. Hanwha versus Afrika Freaks.